Once I sobered up and I started looking back at how I was then compared to how I am now, it's like two different people.
The lab to me is a tool. I know I have the lab available. It's the biggest hammer I have. So I pull that hammer out when I have to use it.
This is going to be the single most important part of your entire treatment recovery process, because it's going to detect when you're not being honest, and then as you climb your way out and get out to a better life and get to sobriety, it will certify to everybody that you're now sober.
This is one of the best tools I have as a clinician, because I can have faith that for most of my clients, or all my clients, are clean.
It was catch me if you can, and now it's please catch me.
Well, at Valley Behavioral Health, we've treated substance abuse for decades. And one of the frustrations treating substance abuse is the quality of the drug testing.
One of the concerns people had was, number one, was the test accurate?
We were using the cheaper dipstick testing, which has a host of problems with it.
A bar is going to light up or it's not going to light up on that test strip, and it's going to give you very basic information. It's going to give you broad drug classes.
Number two, was it accessible for them to be able to see and determine and have those results proposed to them in a way that they could understand?
They might give you the lab part of it, but they don't understand how that intersects with the treatment part. How do I use that result to talk to the patient that's in front of me?
So Valley Lab, in a nutshell, it was created with the intentions to bring something in that people had trust in.
What our lab brings to that is the truth in recovery.
The first casualty of substance abuse is the truth. You cannot be involved with doing drugs without lying or being deceitful at some level.
Several years ago, it was a problem because there wasn't any kind of deeper testing, and so there would be inaccuracies.
I faked the UAs for an entire year straight using apple juice.
I had the dip test. It was one time a week. I was smoking spice and drinking and getting away with it.
No matter what somebody tells you, if it's not the truth, you have no starting point.
So you really get traction when you hit that bedrock of the truth and can start moving forward. And so what the Valley Lab offers is a higher complexity testing that allows us to get that accuracy rate up to about 1 in 10,000 error rate.
Everybody can go back to their childhood when they had the block and they put in shapes. Drugs are the same way. On an LCMS, it takes a sample, runs it through a column, which spreads it out, and then the analyzer can see through it and see the different shapes, different molecules, which each drug has its own individual shape and molecule.
And it's going to break and fragment that same way every single time. That's one of the reasons mass spec is so specific and so reliable.
Which really starts that conversation of, okay, we're through lying about this, we're through telling stories, let's get down to that bedrock and let's start changing.
I think from the get-go, they just know that whatever they did was in there, and that we saw that.
If you're dirty, you're dirty. You know, they're gonna find out.
The way that Valley does their testing is phenomenal. You can't really beat it. Not only do we know how much drugs they're using, we know if they're coming down, we know if they're taking their prescribed medication as directed.
When confronted with accountability, a lot of people will use every excuse in the book that they can come up with because they're trying to protect that survival instinct. That's why they say the only way to get over it is through honesty. And I believe that the test and the lab tests keep people honest.
And that is the key component to our client sobriety.
In the lab testing industry, I mean, turnaround time is talked about a lot.
They understand our clients' needs, that we get our results in a timely manner.
We process them and the results are back out anywhere between 24 and 72 hours.
There is a person behind every test tube, and you have to remember that.
The mission of Valley Lab is also that we combine knowledgeable treatment in with it.
I have had a CMRO come in and discuss with me the things that I needed to know and understand about my test results.
What you get is that extra piece of how to talk to them about their substance abuse, how to incorporate that in at the clinical level, which is really a place that we own in that space that other labs just don't offer.
Everyone deserves the best medical attention possible.
It means something. In a lot of these cases, it can change lives.
People have changed their lives completely when they've been able to get through the recovery process. And That's why I enjoy it.
We're building towards a better life for these people.
Before, I drive down the road and I would see them looking for a needle in the local sand pile. Now I'm seeing them push their kid on the swing in the local sand pile.
There was a time period when I couldn't stay sober. So when I see those test results come back negative every time, my probation officer was happy, I was happy, it makes my parents happy. Like they say, the truth will set you free. I feel like Valley has saved my life.